Walt Disney, I think, was an important innovator and weird, eccentric artist, and he was right about a lot of stuff. He said that he wanted to make a place where people wouldn't be afraid to take their children. You know, he wanted somewhere that people wouldn't be in danger of any kind and just have fun. I think it's honorable. You know. I got lots of problems. Waters is certainly one of our heroes as far as that's concerned, aesthetically, and, his humor. I wanted to cover that song a long time ago. I mean, 10 years at least. Thought, oh, it'd be a good cover to do. That's such a great song, you know. And we always loved Female Trouble. To me, is his best movie, I think, you know. And but he has a wicked sense of humor that I think is really good, you know. And he sees that, you know. Dark sense of humor, funny, all those sorts of things, and that to me is important, and that's what makes him a genius to me, you know. And the fact that, you know, he was willing to go out and do something along those lines against all odds, you know, and realize that it doesn't have to be perfect, but it is perfect, you know. So I wouldn't change any of those things. I think it's you know, he hit a high water mark with that movie to me, and thankfully, you know. But I mean, we always, you know, we have a really great sense of humor as far as what we're doing as well. I mean, we have you know, I mean, just from our band name alone, it's not serious, you know. It's not like, you know, Christian Death or something. You know, it's not. It's you know, it's goofier, you know, and that's okay. It's serious and goofy. It's all part of the whole thing, you know.
Now everybody breathe. Who wants to be famous? Who wants to die for art? I
do! To me, artisans do that regardless. I mean, most of the classic art was funded by somebody else, but they worked as artists, especially painters and things of that nature, like Hieronymus Bosch and people like that. I mean, I'm certainly no expert, but from what I understand, they were paid as workers, you know, to do that. They didn't just sit on their ass, you know. They worked, and they painted those things for the church or whoever, you know, and they it was the way they made their living, and that's important. But the question then would be, would they have done those sorts of things on their own? I don't know. They must have figured out how to paint before they were hired to paint. So I do all kinds of artistic stuff that has nothing to do with music, and certainly has nothing to do with me making any money, you know, myself. I probably would continue to do that. I mean, I like to have a fun, interesting environment to live in. My house is surrounded by all kinds of crazy things. I mean, Hemingway always said that he wrote better if he was surrounded by objects and things, you know. I believe that, you know. I mean, I never understand people who have nothing, you know. I mean, you should have something. Looking at something, regardless. It doesn't have to be worth a lot of money, but, you know, I mean, you know, I prefer to make my living space somewhere that I want to be more than anywhere else. You know, you know, that's kind of important to me. You know, my safe haven for the rest of the world. I can just stay there. I've thought about that before. Like in my house, it's like, oh, if I had to get locked in here for a year, would I be okay? And I go, yeah, I'd be all right. I could do that. You know, so that's kind of cool. If you buy a collectible toy or something like that, it's more expensive than something you would find in a supermarket or in a regular store, but it's kind of like an entry level into collecting art. And I love art. I have quite a pretty good collection of paintings and things like that I really enjoy. And I also collect a lot of other things. So I understand the mentality and the fun, how fun it is. And you don't know, one of my favorite artists toy artists is this guy named Kaws, Kaws. And we kind of have the same philosophy as far as like our collectible things. You know, I mean, if you want our music, there's nothing that you can't find for nothing on the internet. It's free, you know. You'll get it one way or another. But if you want something that's, you know, so that's really the important thing. Is the music is available. But if you want to have, you know, some collectible thing, well, there's not going to be very many of them, you know, and we don't sell them in stores. And you know, people have a problem with that. It's like, well, look, you know, it's not going to be very long at all before you just don't sell music at all. You know, you sell junk that goes along with it, but the music is just there for the taking. So unless people can figure out a way to make that work, it's gonna, you know, the industry's changing as we know it, and that's fine with me. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, I've personally never, I don't go out and look for music. If I want something, I'll buy it. You know, I'll buy the CD, I'll store it on the CD. I don't really store my music on computers, but I do have an iPod simply for the convenience of it. I think it's great. To me, it's like the same. I use it the same way I used to use cassettes. You know, exact same. You know, they didn't sound as good, but I didn't care because I could take whatever I wanted. You know. So that's all important. And yeah, we've worked with a lot of different artists. I'm happy that they want to. I would work with almost any artist. We've worked with lots of different poster artists, and we pretty much just tell them, do whatever you want. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I'd rather have them do it, and be happy that they're doing anything. You know, I mean, you know, the last thing I want to do is sit there and tell somebody what to do. You know, they're the artist. Let them do their thing. You know, that's for them to decide. You know. Just like I wouldn't want somebody telling me what kind of music to make. You know, that would be difficult for me to deal with. You know, I'd have a hard time with that. So with the artists that we've worked with, like Camilo Rose Garcia or any of those people, we just tell them, we're happy that you're giving us anything, whatever it is. And we don't want to own it. You can have it. We don't care. You know, thank you for letting us use it. That's really it, you know. You know, and you're never going to be able to satisfy everyone, you know. We never could. So I just don't care about that, you know. I know what I like, and I know how I want to do it. And if people don't like that, they can go find someone else that will do what they want and satisfy them in that way. They shouldn't look to us to do things normal, you know. I think Frank Zappa said that. Why people shouldn't look to me. You know, Frank Zappa saying that people shouldn't look to him to do normal stuff. There's other people that'll do normal stuff. Don't expect me to. I think the same way, you know. If you don't think it's a good deal, then we didn't make it for you. You know, you can find someone else that is more suited to what you want. You know, that's pretty much my philosophy about all of it. You know, it's not up to a vote. It's not a democracy. What do you guys all think? You know, I just don't. I know I'm not wrong, so that's fine. It's like with the, you know, collecting toys and things like that, collectible vinyl toys. I don't always get everything I want. Oh well, you know, that's okay. That makes the things that I do get that much more important to me, you know. That's really what's cool about it. You know, you can't find it at, you know, on Amazon. It's just not there, you know. Good. You know, makes it cooler. Music's still there. That's it. That's really the important thing, so. I don't mind working. I like to work. I'm a workaholic. I work all the time. I like hands-on things, and I like the fact that we're doing things that are more, I mean, since the internet is so impersonal, it's impersonal. It's personal on some level, but it's impersonal. Then it's important to concentrate on things that are actually tangible. You know, like a silk screen cover of a record. That's something you can print at home, you know. Things like that. And those will all change as well, but that's great, you know. Okay, that's fine with me, you know. Live is not going to change. Live is still a human experience. You can't get it, no matter how well you film it. Even in IMAX, it's not the same, you know. So that's good. Well, you know, I didn't start playing guitar until I was about 18, 17 or 18, so I was already older. Most people start younger. So I started writing music pretty quickly after learning to play guitar. So, and then playing cover songs was figuring out kind of the thing. I don't know. I mean, it was just a fun thing to do. I don't really know why. I mean, my initial expectations about being in a band were surpassed pretty quickly. You know, I thought it'd be fun to play a show, maybe play on a real stage. That was it. It was really the only thing we were thinking of when we started. Never thought about making records, or you know, playing for 30 years. That's for sure. You know. So weird. Be careful what you don't wish for. Well, and I loved going to music, going to live concerts. This was in the early '80s. There was something about the excitement of punk rock shows. I started going to those pretty quickly, as well as big arena shows. It took me not very long before I realized that I was more interested in the intimate nature of smaller venues. You know, and a big show at that point, and certainly in Seattle, was about maybe 200 people. Dead Kennedys could play to maybe 500 or 600. But other than that, it wasn't really a lot of people. And I guess, you know, as far as my own life went, I didn't really care too much about anything. I never went to school, finished just regular school, and then no college or anything like that, and just worked crap jobs. That's it. So I never had any good jobs or anything like that. So no future to speak of as far as that's concerned. I just didn't really care too much about any of that sort of thing, and but I always worked. I always had jobs, but there were nothing that was good. I worked since I was about 13 or 14, probably. You know, I wanted money. I wasn't going to get it from anywhere else. That's for sure. You know. Well, when I look back on all of it, it's nice to know that I wasn't wrong about it. You know, my initial instincts on what I was doing were pretty correct. I knew I didn't want to do anything that sounded exactly like anybody else. I knew I liked a wide variety of music, whether it was punk rock bands or whatever they were. I liked a wide variety of things. And early on, I realized that I wanted to make music that I would like as a fan, and my attitudes were along those lines. So, you know, I mean, it's at the time you're involved in something like that, and you don't have a whole lot of people that are interested in what you're doing, and a lot of people that are telling you that what you're doing is terrible. It's kind of hard to stay positive, you know. But I managed to. I just knew I wasn't wrong about it, and it's nice to know that was the case. You know, because our music and our influences had an impact on the entire globe. You know, it's changed music, a lot of it, and so that's good. You know, I'm happy about that. You know, I know I'm not the bad guy. So.
It's a killer. She's a killer maker. It reaches in and takes from the back of your mind. I'm not awake, but still alive. 20 bucks, have a back and see the light. I got a smile, got what they call a lie. A lack of halfway done, but it's all my own. I say I can't, but I really mean I won't. In the arm, or maybe up the nose. I see it.
You know, honestly, I'm very much about what have you done lately. You know, like I don't really dwell too much on the past. We'll play like if we play live shows like these. The live shows we're playing in Europe right now are we're only doing a few cities. We're doing older records. I don't really foresee us doing that much, and we never did it here. So once that's done, I can't see us really spending a lot of time on that sort of thing again. But I don't know anybody that's doing 5 albums over 2 days. It's a lot of material, But usually when we play a live show, we'll play a third old stuff and 2/3 new, newer. And we're not too precious about any of it. I mean, it can change. And honestly, I don't listen to the older records. I just don't really want to. I mean, it's not because I hate it. It's just, John Huston had a good philosophy about movies. He made a lot of movies, and he said what he would do is he would make the movie, they would edit it, he'd sit in the editing room, watch it, and then make any changes, and then watch it from the beginning. And then if he was satisfied with it, then he would walk away from it and move on to the next thing. Which I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's like I can usually listen to our records right about up until the time they come out, and then I'm done, and I move on. And on our early records, I really don't even remember what order the songs are in, because I've moved on doing new things. And I don't hate those things. I just have let them have a life of their own, They're not for me anymore, It's just my thing is to do something new, whatever it is. And so an interviewer recently said, well, why are you spending all this time concentrating on the past? I go, well, okay, look, in the last year, we've done a 5-song EP that's new material. We did an album, Freak Puke album with the Melvins Light, which is another lineup, which is all new material. We did a 4-song album or EP with the Melvins 1983, which was new material. And we did a covers album, all in one, So it's like, what are you talking about? What more do you want me to do? That's not enough, I can't, they say Rolling Stone gathers no moss. I don't sit around for very long. I always have to be doing something, thinking, whatever it is. My wife says that I have 10 conversations in my head at all times, and they never stop. It's true. I'm not easy to live with, I'll totally admit that. She has a hard time, I'm not mean to her, but it's just, I'm not, a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, weekends off. I don't understand any of that, I'm always working, constantly, whatever it may be, one thing or another. Like, I remember her telling, I was saying something to her about how I didn't think that I was working hard enough. She's like, you're insane. You're totally insane. All you do is work. That's it, I'm like, yeah, it's true, But, I don't sit around much. Just do, I guess just the things that I'm most passionate about is just trying to keep things simple and work as hard as I can at whatever it may be and try to move forward in one form or another, regardless of what it is I'm doing, whether it's golfing or, whatever it is. I'm very obsessed by all of it, very obsessed, 1 is good, 2 is better, 10 is better, I always loved playing sports when I was a kid, but what I realized when I was a teenager is I didn't like the people who played sports, so that pretty much put me out of it, But I've always loved the athletic type of stuff, and golf fits right into there. It's perfect for me. A lot of walking. You're outside. It takes a long time concentrating, and the physical activity. It's perfect. Really love it, you know. The last 6 years I've really been into it, and most of our records I will go golf 18 holes or less, a little bit, and then go to the studio. Get up before the sun's up, you know. But that's good. It's good for me, you know. It's I need that level of activity. I need it. It keeps me sane, you know. I would go crazy otherwise. You know. Plus, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to do. Weird. I don't know a lot of, you know, but I don't care. People can't believe I want to do it. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine. There's probably a lot of things you wouldn't believe. I don't think I'll ever set foot in Euro Disney again. It was horrible. I liked it the first couple times I went, but I love all that kind of stuff. But I think Euro Disney's horrible. You know, first 2 times I went, it was great. And then it just was completely destroyed. Something's happened. I don't know what, but it was fun. The first time was really great. We went there and it was freezing cold, and there was nobody there. And so we had a really good time. It was really fun. The second time was all right too, and then the last time, no way. I'll never. You know, it's destroyed. They've totally destroyed it. That would never happen in the U.S. Disneylands. No way. They would never allow it there. If you did things like if you climbed over a fence, they would throw you out of the park. In LA, part of the deal at the Disneyland there is to go and enjoy the way it is, see what they've done. You know, the forced perspective and everything that they've done. It's amazing. You know, you miss that by not respecting it. You know? Well, Phantom House is certainly Mike's baby, you know, and I'm willing to do it whenever he wants to. I have no reason to believe there's anything on the table. We haven't been in the studio in 10 years, 2003, the last time we recorded. And we haven't done a live show since 2008. And so, you know, I'll do it if it happens. But until he says, you know, whatever he wants to do, I mean, it's not up to me. Fortunately, I have my own thing going on, you know. But I'll do it if it happens, no problem. He lives in San Francisco. It's 400 miles away, you know. And I see him a little bit, but, you know, I just don't have the energy to try to keep up with whatever. And I don't really know what he does. I really have no idea, you know. I mean, I know him a little. I would never even claim to know him. You know, we're acquaintances, but we're certainly not. I don't know what his life consists of. I got other things going on, you know. Just, but I would do it. I'm not certainly, you know. It's easy to agree to that kind of thing because it almost never happens. Maybe Phantom House is done. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know, you know. I mean, really, I just don't ask him, you know. Like, it's funny. I mean, I've had fans ask me, well, did you like such and such Faith No More record? I go, I don't never listen to Faith No More. I don't know anything about it. They go, does Mike know that? And I go, I never asked him. He never asked me what I thought, you know? So, you know, we don't have that kind of, you know. I like Mike, but I was more interested in Mr. Bungle than I was in Faith No More, you know? And so I knew a little bit more about that, and that was my experience with him. You know, I'd never even saw Faith No More, you know. I saw him a little bit, you know, but certainly not back then. It was not part of my world, you know. And we played shows with Mr. Bungle, so that was how that all, you know, for 20 years ago, you know, so it was that made more sense. But I didn't know him as the MTV poster boy, you know. I knew him as a weirdo in Mr. Bungle, which is certainly different, you know. Much more to my liking as far as that's concerned, you know. So, you know, fortunately, there's a mutual respect there that we can meet at some point in Phantom House. And the best thing I got out of Phantom House was on my relationship with Trevor, you know, which is continued on with Melvins Light. We've done a lot of stuff with him, and you know, I'm really happy about all that. You know, that was really great. I'm really happy. I would never have happened had I not, you know, had none of those things happened. Had we not, you know, met at some point a long time ago. So I'm extremely grateful for all that stuff. You know, I don't have anything, no bad experience with Mike or with any of that. It's all good. You know, it's all good. No worries.
That's how many people were at our show. This many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's at least 3 dozen people.
Tonight's show will be no different than any other show. I'll feel the same about it. Whether it's in France or Timbuktu, you know, it doesn't make any difference. You know, we played an amazing show a few years ago in Israel. That was great. You know, I didn't feel different there. Those people were the same rock people that I played to everywhere, and I was happy to do it. That's what I'm doing. You know, that's my audience, and I'm happy that they're there. I appreciate it. Do my best every single night. But live is a roll of the dice. It's never, you can't count on it being great, or you know, you just never know. You know, some shows are better than others. It's the same. I'm not a big fan of plays, but I can see why people like them. You know, because actors are right there. You know, it's not like a movie. You know, it's a different kind of thing. You know, it's good. It's all good. Well, yeah, we did 51 shows in 51 days, every state plus DC. Every state. Not even 7 months ago, 8 months ago. Well, it was a publicity stunt, you know. That's really it, you know. I don't really care about doing that. It's just it's a big adventure, you know. Really, honestly, you know. I mean, my favorite movies are things like Treasure of Sierra Madre or Lawrence of Arabia, big adventure movies, or Man Who Would Be King, you know, where the guys, for better or worse, the main characters go out and do something, you know, whether it's right or wrong, you know, and with no fear whatsoever, you know, and I admire that. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that, and a lot of satisfaction and inspiration from all those kinds of things. You know, it's great, especially T.E. Lawrence and, you know, Fred C. Dobbs, and yeah, they screw up and they end up doing the wrong thing, but they're not sitting on their ass. You know? The Kipling story, The Man Who Would Be King, they go to, you know, become kings. Kafiristan, you know, I mean, nobody, you know, there's nothing to compare that to. You know? I mean, it's not, you know, working a job in a factory, you know, it's doing something. I love all that stuff. So, you know, it's and along those lines of a big stunt, you know. Why did Evel Knievel didn't want to jump all those cars, but he did it anyway. You know, it's kind of the same thing. You know, not on a much smaller scale, but you know, that's it really. You know.
She says, I'm your party.